get into our next segment.
Are we?
No, we get into the interview. Yeah, we get into the interview.
Interview.
Oh, yeah.
So, listen. So, look. It don't happen often, but we sometimes get blessed. People fuck with us low-key. Like, subscriptions don't really show it, but people fuck with us.
And it should. After today, it better.
After today, put a little bit more respect on our name, man.
And if you disagree with us, leave a comment and we can talk about it.
Yeah, word. Right. If you don't like us, don't say nothing. Engage with us. Let us know what you don't like.
Yeah, tell us what we're doing wrong.
Reach out to us. We on social media. DM us. Comment. But still sub. Sub to see whatever bullshit you don't like. Sub so you can keep watching bullshit that you don't like. But on today's episode, we got a dope interview, man. The homie Eddie, being the alcohol connoisseur he is, has made a relationship that's gonna last forever.
Yeah, we've been friends for almost a year now. Yeah. I text him during the season, little stuff.
So thank you, Eddie, for pulling this off. We got a dope interview for you guys. We got Super Bowl winner, 12-year pro.
Played drafted by the Eagles. Went to Detroit for a little bit. He said he had a cup of coffee with the New York Giants.
And won a championship.
Won his championship with the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Got to check. We got the homie Barrett
Brooks.
Barrett Brooks, Triple OG.
Triple OG is his new nickname.
Yeah,
I think that's what we should call him, right? Going forward.
OG. And I'm still in his long story long.
Double B.
Long story long is my favorite thing said ever.
Long.
Yeah.
So, check out this dope interview we got with Pro Barrett Brooks right here. What's up, guys? Welcome to episode 20 of the OSA Out of Shape All-Stars podcast. Now, we got a special episode and special segment for you guys in this episode because we got a triple OG here.
Triple OG.
Triple OG, not just a regular OG, a triple OG. Now, we got the homie. For those who don't know, I'm going to put y'all up on game. Now, played in the NFL, Super Bowl champ, from the Midwest, from the Lou. I'm from Chicago, so my Midwest brother here. He got a dope pod, Eagle Eye, right? Eagle Eye podcast, and he getting that NBC money. So
trying to take as much as I can, man.
So allow us to introduce you guys and just show some love to the homie Barrett Brooks.
Thank you.
What's up? Hey, man, I appreciate you guys having me on, man. Now, you talking about Triple OG, man. You know what? I'm knocking right at the door, man, at being 50, man. That's crazy, bro.
Man.
But, and it's been a blessing, man. Even though 2020 been hectic and, what I'm saying, just to live another year, man, I'm just, I don't take things for granted, man. I understand this. You say these are bad times. These are trifling times, man. We got a trifling government going on right now. We got a trifling epidemic going on in the world, man. This ain't even what you say bad. This is just flat out trifling.
Yeah. But you say you about to be 50, man. Black don't crack, bro. Besides
definitely don't look it.
Besides the salt pepper, you look like you with us, man.
Appreciate it, man. But I just try to make things happen, bro. At the end of the day, man, is what have you done for me lately, man? That's the way the world looks, So that's what I do, man. I try to lift as I climb, and while I'm doing it, man, make sure I'm having a little fun, man. So I stay trying to look young, bro. That's all I can do.
That's what's up, bro. Now, again, we just, pups in this game, getting into the sport podcasting space. Not only are you a former pro, but you also work in the space. And so we want to just gauge your mind, see what you got going on, see how you're thinking about 2020. Like you say, it's trifling. 2020 been trifling. Dealing with multiple deaths. A lot of black people, black leaders are passing away. As we all know, Chadwick Boseman just died. Black Panther T'Challa just passed away. Today, John Thompson,
legendary Georgetown coach.
Legendary coach. We've been losing a lot of Black leaders in today's climate. And so with the social justice space, a lot of Black folks been going through it. And a lot of people look for athletes to lead the way and use their platforms to gauge the world and help spread the Black message. So my first question to you, I'll let the guys go around because we all want to just pick your brain. We're going to ask you questions and stuff. We're going to ask you real questions, so I hope you're ready. But for the first real question, I want to ask you, what do you think is the job of the athlete, the Black athlete, the known athlete, when it comes to setting the stage and spreading the message when it comes to social
awareness?
Yeah, social awareness and justice for the world, not just people of color, but for the world.
I mean, you look at it, man. I mean, like you said, you asked me a question. I hope y'all ready because I'm just going to tell you the truth. Sometimes people don't want to hear the truth, man. But the truth is, it's just now starting that people that are athletes are starting to use their platform to really get social injustice out there. Before, if you try to do the same thing, the owners would shut you down. I mean, point blank. You want to get paid, keep your mouth shut. And it's different these days because now athletes have a little more power. You look at the LeBrons, you look at the Michael Jordans. They have a more of a say-so because of the number one thing you look at sports cross all barriers. It cross all ages. It cross all races. It's an all-empowering
equalizer.
You name it. People love sports. You could be the poorest guy in the world and be sitting next to a millionaire and still have that same fandom with a guy. In the stands. And since it crosses all barriers, it's giving these guys a platform in which they can use to now make their points and bring the people that they left behind, put them front and center. Because a lot of these athletes didn't become just famous athletes without helping somebody, or somebody helping them get to where they needed to go. And that's the biggest thing. You didn't get there by yourself. So as you're lifting yourself up, and you're climbing up, you better lift somebody up behind you. You got to bring somebody up. And the social issues that they're going through and that we're going through, it doesn't matter, how much money we have or how we're on TV. Because at the end of the day, I can be in Philadelphia, drive over the state line to go in New Jersey, and a police officer or just a random guy might not know about the Philadelphia Eagles. He may be a Giants fan. So at the end of the day, he's looking at me as a big Black guy in this car, and, no telling what'll happen. Yeah. In my bubble here in Philadelphia, I got a little bit of a bubble up there with the Giants, just a little bit. I drank a cup of coffee there. I played for the Giants for 1 year, just 1 year. So, I was able to, collect the check from that owner, so I enjoy that. But at the end of the day, if this policeman is having a bad day, he wakes up on the wrong side of the bed, or he's just a bad dude. And I'm not saying all police officers are bad dudes. The majority of them are great because they have to be great, understanding what their role is in our society. But if he's having a bad day and he feels as though he wants to try me, he can. You know what I'm saying? He can in my life happened before. I got to come home to my family. I got to come home to wife and kids. And it troubles me that we're still going through this. Even after Colin Kaepernick did the most acceptable way to voice his opinion by really just taking a knee, in which a military guy told him to do that, take a knee instead of sitting down. Yep. And he got ostracized for it. They kicked him out the league. They boycotted him, everything else. Right. And now 4 years later, look where we are. Mm-hmm. The same damn thing, man. So it's like I said, it's trifling times, man. We just got to watch ourselves. But this platform is not something that's going to go away. Right. Anytime you have a white sport like hockey, seeing and making sure they're showing their support, that's the whitest sport in the world. Because economically, there's not a lot of blacks are able to play hockey because it's too expensive.
No access to it.
Of course, it's very expensive.
Exactly, Yeah. You're in Florida, you can't go to a skating rink. Who's going to go to a skating rink? It's hot down there. But the fact that they're noticing that there's social injustice, it's just going to press this movement even farther, man. So this is something that's not going to stop. We're going to keep the ball rolling.
Yeah.
Now, did you agree with the boycott of the NBA that Milwaukee Bucks started?
Did I agree with it? Yes, I did. Because if they didn't do it, I would assume that somebody else would. I mean, they have to. They understand. They probably have kids, and because they have kids, they understand that they have to make sure that people are noticing their plight, that they're not just letting this get swept under the table. Social injustice is something that they have to live with. When they leave that bubble, they still gonna be a tall black athlete at the end of the day. They don't care, you know. I mean, if they want to get arrested, if they get arrested or pulled over, their life is just as in danger as a guy that's, you know, not playing basketball. And that's what people understand. I can change my uniform, but I can't change the color of my skin. So because of that, I'm always going to be a black man.
I thought it was positive and brilliant because we're sitting back, you know, we're waiting, you know, for sports to come back due to the coronavirus. We finally get sports back. We see what happened to Jacob Blake. And the players on their own decided, no, we're taking sports away from you. You know, like that to me was powerful. You know, and
yes,
you
exactly.
Came in and, you know, they supported us in solidarity. So with that being said, my question is, did you think, I mean, you played in the late 90s, early 2000s, right?
Yeah.
So you ever think in your lifetime you would see players and teams and come together and unify? Like you said, you mentioned that before, like, back then, guys would just put their heads down and just keep playing because they weren't going to get a check. But, like, did you feel empowered watching the league that you used to play for and also the NBA and also the NHL come together as one and decide?
Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, I mean, because football has, you know, the NFL has the worst union out of all the unions. You know, if a player gets cut, they're not obligated to pay any of their salary. They're just cut, you know, unless you have guaranteed money. So in saying that, the owners have a lot more power than they do in basketball and baseball. They have a lot more power in those sports because you still have to pay them even though you cut them. In the NFL, it's different. You don't have that. You have the same autonomy that you have with the other sports. Right. So if an order decided, all right, I'm going to cut you, and you don't have guaranteed money, you're just cut. You no longer are employed by the NFL. And because of that, you know, you have more skin in the game as an NFL player as opposed, you know, just to a basketball player where the contract is guaranteed or a baseball player. So during that time when I was playing, there were a lot of players that talked a lot and had the ability to do it, but they didn't do it simply because the owners had way too much power, you know. I mean, look at the Jim Browns, you know, the Kareem Abdul-Jabbars. They've always been social activists, but they had the notoriety to do it. Me, I nickel and dime the league. I didn't get the huge contracts. I made a great living. I was able to provide for my family, put a little money away, build my retirement. Yeah. But at the end of the day, if they cut me in my, you know, I played 12 years. If they cut me in my third year and I was going out and trying to boycott or do anything other than what they told me, then I'd have just had a 3-year NFL career. Yeah, because they would have been blacklisted. You know what I'm saying? I'd have been blacklisted. But the fact that Colin Kaepernick stepped up the way he did, and you know, for him to do that, it just showed the players that, all right, we do have a voice. We do have a means of affecting change. And from that point on, you know, I mean, I'm just proud of NFL players and all these players really taking an active stand in it. And they don't care. I mean, you look at the NBA. A lot of these players probably won't play next year and probably won't make it to the playoffs. They probably won't. There's a chance they won't. So the reason, I mean, that for them to go out there and sacrifice a playoff, you know, and that's real skin in the game. It just goes to show, you know, how important this time is right now. We have to take advantage of it.
So to piggyback off of what you were saying in regards to the owners, not even just the owners for football, but across all platforms, it ties into my question. I always say this to the boys: how many of the owners do we see on TV or teams making a statement in regards to supporting Black Lives Matter or supporting their players in general? How many of them do you feel like are saving face? They're only on the bandwagon because they're trying to hold their they're trying to take care of their brand or not seem like they're on the wrong side of these injustices.
Well, 80% of the league, 80% of the league owners haven't said a word. Mm-hmm. And I say what? Out of that 80%, I'll say 12% of them showed their indifference. You know what I'm saying? They showed that, hey, I'm you know, I'll support them, but you know what I'm saying? I mean, you got the Jerry Joneses that are like,
There's always
all
an
right,
asterisk.
I'm not supporting this. You know, if a guy kneels during the national anthem, I might cut him. You know, and he still has that good old boy mentality, so he will continue to be that way. So it's not like, you know, they're really speaking out, but they are allowing their players to have that platform. I played for a great owner in Jeffrey Lurie. Also played with a great owner with the Steelers. You know, they understood that, you know, you're more than just a player. They treated you like family. Mr. Lurie right now, the owner of the Eagles, he has the meeting. The players didn't have to call the meeting. He called the meeting to discuss the attitudes and the mindset of his players. He cared enough that he set the meeting up. He wanted to know what he could do, how he could allocate resources to the different charities that they wanted to try to build more of a bond between him and his players. You know, he understands that there's social injustice out there, and he doesn't want his players to think that they can't voice their opinion or use this platform to get the word out. I mean, I commend him, you know. And
sounds
the
like a
Rooney's
really
the
good
same
guy.
way.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
No, yeah,
Great
that's
guy.
good because
That's amazing.
For me, I don't always want to see or hear a statement. I want to see some action behind it. So
Absolutely.
that's a perfect example of somebody. And otherwise, if I don't really see a lot of action behind it, I feel like for the most part they might just be saving face. They might just be out there just trying to make it appear like they're on the right side and not really, you know, in the trenches. So that was a good example. I appreciate it.
Well, I mean, look at the 49ers. I mean, the 49ers after that, what was the next team that really had that player that really stood up, became virtually the mouthpiece of the league, of the players? Malcolm Jenkins, an Eagle. It started in that locker room. And Mr. Lurie made sure he had the ability to use his platform that way.
Right.
Malcolm became a spearhead in that movement. And the only reason he was able to do that because Mr. Lurie supported him and gave him that platform in which he could go out there and do that.
That's dope. I mean, because again, it ain't a black issue. Although these type of social injustices are happening to black and brown people, overall and altogether, it is a people issue. Like, we as a people, if we see something wrong, we should address wrong. Like, get past the color. This is not right. Whether your color or creed, this ain't right. So we as a people, being able to see it, we should stand together and be like, yo, that shit is wrong. We shouldn't allow that. Like, it is what it is. But speaking, you know, I spoke earlier about my son and T'Challa, having to explain the death of him, to explain the death of Black Panther and him. I also had to explain other deaths. I had to explain the Breonna Taylor death to him. I had to explain Floyd's death to him. So, like, and how, again, I'm speaking to a 6-year-old, what he should be aware of, how he should be moving in this world, how the world see us as Black men, because they're threatened solely by, you know, the color of our skin. And again, like you said, you being a big dude, we already got one strike against you because you the skin color. You being a big dude, 6'2" something, like, you automatically like, oh, he a threat. So my question to you is, I know you got a lot of you got kids, right?
Absolutely. I got 5 kids. Why did I play so long in the NFL?
Yeah.
5 of them things. So
I wanted to retire after 3 years, but hey, 5 kids, a lot of college education.
Word. Exactly. So with that, I know you got young brothers and sisters around you. What type of conversations and what are you, teaching them or preaching to them in regards to being safe and how to move in this world, knowing that we all got the target on our back?
It's my philosophy is kind of, different because I preach to my kids respect. I'm big on respect. And I tell my kids, respect an officer, good, bad, or indifferent, respect an officer, because he has the power virtually to change your life at that time. He can go in any direction. You have to understand he's going to go in any direction. So I tell my son, all the time, being a Black man, and, he's a kind of a big dude also, that he has to understand that, he has to do certain things and he has to go above and beyond what his friends would. He went to a predominantly white school. He can't do the same things that they do. If they get pulled over, you have to be more respectful than they do. You have to put your hands and make sure they're in plain sight. No sudden movement. And it's a damn shame that I have to tell my son that, and even my daughters that. I mean, look at Breonna Taylor. You have to make sure that it's a respect factor. Now, respect goes both ways. And I've seen police officers take advantage of that situation. Not just police officers, people in different positions, you know, abusing that. I mean, at the end of the day, man, this country has been run by somebody that just abuses that power that he has, you know, and that's, you know, it's a crying shame that we're talking about somebody who's so narcissistic that he's influencing simple-minded people. He's influencing people that, you know, to be a way that they shouldn't be. He's influencing people not to respect a man, you know, and
he's well aware.
Exactly.
Yep,
I mean,
doing it for clicks or whatever he's doing it for. You know, I mean, clearly he's doing it for something, but it worked for him the first time, so I guess he's hoping it's going to work for him again, but it's not right.
But see, I'm just asking how. How can you vote somebody into office or re-vote them into office when you can sit down and all you have to do is you don't have to research hard. Just look at what he says and then just read about what he just said. You'll find that everything he said is a lie. I mean, it's totally untrue. This economy is the best it's been under any president. Are you kidding me? I mean, he's straight up saying that, and people are really trying to say that he's doing that.
Yeah.
You know, come on now. You said that that right now unemployment is the lowest it's ever been. No, it's the highest it's ever been.
It's the highest it's ever been.
Exactly.
There's this little thing called COVID that, you know, millions of Americans don't have jobs.
So how can you counter that and just lie about that?
Right.
Most people ever at the inauguration, pretty much. That's his first lie he ever told, pretty much.
Oh, well, no, the first lie he said was going to be a wall. Still waiting on that.
Right.
Well, what I think they got 3 miles done, but we paid for it, not Mexico.
I think they're slowly building that. I think they're slowly building that wall.
No, well, now they said we weren't supposed to pay for it. Mexico's what?
Yeah, Mexico was going to pay for it.
Nothing. Come on now. I mean,
We ended up paying for it, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Taxpayer though.
Yeah.
But hey, he just a little song and dance, giving all these people these relief checks, you know, from these COVID checks.
Yeah.
I mean, I hope people don't vote him back into office, man, because I cannot believe we even made it through this past 4 years.
I
we're
think
a joke. We're the laughing stock of the world.
The other important part too was, especially with all the protesting and everything that happened, I think from my perspective is it was happening at the same time as the RNC. So, I mean, how great was it that now there's a message going on, you know, you guys are going to have your little prep rally and, you know, and it did get really good ratings, not as good as the DNCs. And then it eventually overpassed the DNC, which isn't good for our side. But yeah, with all this happening, the NHL protests, the NBA protests, the MLB protests, and some of the NFL training camp protests. It was all happening during the RNC. So it was almost like the RNC got bumped out of the news and we were at the top. So,
yeah. I mean, but like Barrett said, people take these little COVID checks and it's an extra little cash. We don't have much because a lot of people lost their jobs. So they use that, he used that, and there are other people who don't do their own research, use that as a gauge of, he's a great president. Look, well, I didn't get this check when so-and-so was in and stuff like that. But, bro, we wasn't in the condition that we were in also. So
we didn't need it, right.
Yeah, and we probably wouldn't be in this condition if we would have taken care of it better in the beginning.
And that's what I'm saying. And if we would have better planned for situations like this, like everywhere else in the world, we wouldn't probably be in this situation where Congress won't have to come to him and pretty much force him to sign paperwork to provide people with these type of supplements. So it's like, but I've had this conversation with people all the time. Yeah, okay, y'all say he this, but I just got this and I just got that. It's like compared to what? Like, you ain't got shit. So you get an extra $1,200, that's gone. Like how after that's gone, how you gonna support your family? He ain't giving you nothing else. So
that's
it's
the biggest thing right there. Yeah.
Yep.
There's no real opportunity.
Exactly.
So
and he said he wants to open up. He wants to open up the country. If you open up the country, it's gonna make COVID double more than it is right now. You have to go through the same situation. We're already trillions of dollars in debt. I mean, people just. I mean, it's literally a situation where all you have to do is just sit down and listen to the man, and you see how narcissistic he is. You'll see how stupid he sounds when he says these things. I mean, really though, come on now. I mean, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Come on now. I don't understand it, and at the end of the day, people gonna say and they're gonna vote, and hopefully they understand. It's just a little song. They call it Wag the Dog. You ever seen that movie before, Wag the Dog?
Yeah.
Dog, where they fake the war to get us ratings up, but he's doing the same thing.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean,
lying to get his ratings up. He just out, but he just thinks blatantly just lies, and he has no he thinks there's no repercussions for it. He just says it, and everybody's supposed to listen and believe it. No, let's stop it. Let's evaluate things. Let's research things.
Yeah. And again, like I said, he's able to do so because there's so many, unfortunately, ignorant people in the world that don't do their own research. And the ignorant folks seem to be louder than the educated, because if you try and have an educated conversation with certain people that's, pro-Trump, it seems to be like a shouting match. So, like, me being
and you're never going to win it with those kind of people either.
And I'm not going to continue to try to talk to you if you can't engage in an adult and respectful conversation. Like, there's a lot of things that I don't agree with on both sides. Nobody's perfect. So, but I can have an engaged adult conversation, mature conversation with you, and we just voice our opinions. But my opinion is based on facts and my research and my knowledge of what's going on. A lot of people just be like, he said this, and like, bro, but where you get that from? Like, where you get that information from?
Right.
But, I'm around this, and so-and-so did this. But how? How you know that?
It's unbelievable, man. I'm around affluent people because I'm into the boat life now. Me and my wife, we bought.
I saw you were out there today, no?
Yeah, we have. So we're starting to get into that, and it's an affluent lifestyle. You have to have money to have a boat. You get a boat, and it's like, what I'm saying. You're gonna have to repair it. You're gonna have to pay for it. So you have to have some money to do it. And everywhere we go, we see all these Trump flags flying, and
of course,
at times, I'm at a marina, and I sit down and I have a conversation with guys, and they respect me because they understand. Not only, they've gotten to know me as a man, not just what you saw on TV when you saw me playing, but they also say, all right, this young man, he's pretty articulate in what he's saying. He understands. He's not a dumb guy. He's not a dumb football player. I have an MBA in healthcare administration. So I'm not just the average NFL football player. I understood that I need to be in something and make money after football. And what's the most inflation-proof job you have is healthcare. There's always sick people and old people. So I sit down and I talk to them, and the conversations we have, like, this one guy, he was voting for Trump simply because he liked the economy for boats. Like, he's a manager in the marina, and during the previous president under Obama, he only sold like 10 boats. But since Trump has been into office, he's sold like 80 boats. I'm like, and he says that's because Obama was preaching more, stack your money, put your money up, live for another day, live when you get older, as opposed to trying to live now when you don't have anything, going into that with some savings. And he says Trump preaches Trump preaches the opposite. Go out there, spend money, be more affluent, So people are starting to buy more boats. Then I told him, I said, I couldn't vote for him because I just couldn't look at my daughter or look at my wife and think morally, what would I do to say to them that I voted for Trump? And it's just, to me, it's just morally wrong because his morals and standards are to the level in which I think the leader of our country should be. Right. I mean, there's no perfect people in this world, but he ain't even making he's not even trying.
Right.
He's not even making an effort.
Right.
He's letting you know I'm gonna do this, and I'm telling you I'm doing it, and then he goes and does it, and people praise him for it.
Yep. And then there's nothing you can do about it, and people just say, "I like him because he's a straight shooter. He's not a politician. He doesn't lie to us. He hasn't put people in jail. All this other nonsense. It's all bogus. It's all bogus excuses."
Yeah, it's important. It's the worst I've ever seen, man.
But before he coined that term, news doesn't spread the truth a lot. Before he coined the whole fake news thing, when you go see certain stuff on the news, they always give a different narrative.
Well, depending on what side they on. You get the same story. If you go to Fox or go to CNN, depending on what side of the political party they ride with, you'll get
their perspective. So it's not the truth. You're just gonna get their narrative on what the story is.
Right. Well, I mean, you look at it. I mean, It's all right there, man. Just research it. You look at the president's power. He has the power to appoint people in the judicial system. You know, he hires judges. Look at the judges that he's put into office since he's been, president. If you look at it, at this point, he's what I think it's 198 judges he's appointed.
Mm-hmm.
How many people of color has he appointed as a judge?
Zero.
None.
How many people of color has he put into the judge's chair?
Zero.
That just let you know.
Yeah.
I'm gonna help my boys. It's a good old boy system.
Right.
You keep helping me be here. I'm gonna make sure I'm gonna make you solid, man. And, at the end of the day, man, morally, I can't get down with that.
Yeah.
Regardless of what he did. Even if he has a proven track,
right,
can't do it.
Now, I was gonna say, I was gonna ask a question because I feel like also with this, how people decide and vote for him. Do you feel like, obviously back in 2016, Hillary won the nomination, but a lot of people wanted Bernie, and at that time, it created a little rift in the DNC.
Yep.
And you kind of still see it because when Bernie went to run
again, yeah,
he didn't really get the full backing of the DNC, and it's like. They gave Biden the nod, but it's like now all of them together. Everybody wants Trump out, but it's not like they really on the same
united.
side.
Yeah, they not
one
united.
thing they want, but they all want it in their own way. You don't think that plays a factor in how it's gonna go?
I absolutely think that. I mean, if you look at it, just because of they want to get Trump out. I mean, are they necessarily going to say is Biden the best candidate? We'll see, but anything at this point is better than Trump.
In my honest opinion, I'm not a big fan of Biden. I was a big fan of Bernie, but I'm not a big fan of Biden. So I'm I can't obviously vote the other side, but I'm not the other one. Biden hasn't really got my vote yet. But
I mean, look at it. I mean, the lesser of two evils. That's where I'm looking at it right now.
Right.
The lesser
Exactly.
of two evils. Bernie was that guy. Bernie was the man. I'm kind of sad he stopped, but at the end of the day, we just got to get Trump out of there.
Right, and that's what I'm saying to my homie. Is yo, I never vote for Trump, but it's you.
I mean, we'd be hopeful that
right.
you voted a vote for Biden is a vote for Kamala Harris. So
right, so it's
you got to see it.
I also look at it this way. Obviously, I say the lesser two evils, right? But obviously we have to get him out. I just don't want to pick someone and.
Right.
And then he ends up being worse. You know what I'm saying? So I'm stuck. Bernie was really my guy. I thought Bernie had a chance back in 2016. I felt like they should he had the wave going for him. I feel like that's where he should have went. And then when he went back to run again, I feel like we should have all gravitated to him. But I guess it wasn't in the cards. And
they said he was too old, but he actually has the younger vote.
Right.
I guarantee you he's going to outlive all three of them. Watch. He's going to outlive Biden, Trump, all of them.
It's the crazy part. They're all around the same age. They all
definitely.
They're all there. They're Trump's in the 70s.
And I know at least one of them got early onset.
Right.
Well,
exactly.
I think one has, but hey.
But again, they say he's too old, but the millennials, that's who we want. That's who our pick was. That's who we wanted to lead us. All and not one foot in the grave, but not. He was speaking to us and for us. So we were.
Also,
at least for myself, I was behind him.
With that, also, it's he wasn't a true Democrat, but it's to run for president, you have to either be, Republican or Democrat. I think there's only been one president throughout the history that won off an independent party. He wasn't either or.
Yeah, the two-party system is broken, and it's pretty clear by that.
Oh, there's no question about that, No question
They're
about
trying
that.
to say he was a socialist, Bernie. So,
they're calling him a con. They call him everything.
Yeah, they call him a
anything to not get him in office.
I mean,
I don't care what they call him.
At the end of the day, a lot of people don't understand the importance of voting in the off years of, the presidential election.
Right.
Because the electoral votes, when they come in, it don't matter.
Yeah.
We saw that in 2016 because the popular vote was where we needed it to be. And those electoral college votes came in, and it was what the hell is going on?
Right.
And again, the
anytime
people's looking at the TV. Go ahead, sorry.
I mean, look at it. I mean, anytime you have a state that holds the same amount of, of votes as the city of Philadelphia.
It's
Come
crazy.
on now, you know what I'm
That's
saying?
ridiculous.
There's more people in the city of Philadelphia than there is in Kansas. But
Yep.
yet they have, come on, man. It's a flawed system, it's a broke system. We just need to get, we need to get Trump out of it. And at the end of the day, look, everybody's talking about how successful he is. How successful he is, he's been bankrupt like 7 times. Every business he's had, he's failed at, but he just had a rich pops. He's always
what
relied
people
on
are missing too is that when this is all over, he's going to be fine. The rest of you aren't,
Right.
So it's like, eventually at some point his term's going to end. He's going to go back to New York, back to his beautiful condo, back to maybe cheating on his wife still, whatever it is that he does. He's going to live his life normally, and y'all going to be sitting there wondering where your money is.
No, they're going to be sitting there getting their ass whooped because he gave them a false sense of comfort that they can do whatever they want to do, and they can't. And when he gets out of office, it's going to change a whole lot of people because a whole lot of people going to think they can still stay the same way, and they're going to get punished.
That's a fact.
All right, man. We can talk social justice and politics forever. We are a sports podcast. So, Barrett, we want to get your insight on a few things going on in sports. The fellas got some sports related questions for you. So we want to pick your brain. You with it?
Let's make it happen.
All right, throw out a question, guys.
I guess my first question, because I was thinking about it, if I'm not mistaken, you played with the bus, right?
Yes, I did.
Now, in his stature in comparison to you, were you like baffled some days? Like by him, you get a block for him and he's running by you, like holding it down for big guys? Like
no question, man. No question.
Like I look
that
at
was my
tape.
dude, man.
I look at tape and I'm like, how the hell? What the hell? Like watch, like, I'm holding on a block, like. So just that experience with him, how was it?
We're talking about the realest dude ever, man. We're talking about Bussy, man. And Bussy, there was no way they tried to put it in that day. He was only 245 pounds. Yeah, okay. Just put it like this. When I was in the league, my last two years in the league, they have a fining system, which, if you're overweight, you get fined a certain amount of money. Yeah. So at the time I was in the league, it was $989 a pound. And, what I'm saying? I came home one time, I was 10 pounds overweight, and they fined me for it. That was almost 10 stacks, man. My wife saw my check. Oh, she cussed me out one way up the wall and then back down.
Right.
I never came back in overweight again. But Bussy, he would say, all right, then he would give him a blank check at the beginning of the year.
Right.
And at the end of the year, it'd probably be like $125,000.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? He say, oh, it's going to charity anyway. But we're talking about a guy that's so gifted, a guy that's an athlete, man. There wasn't anything this guy couldn't do, man. Like in the summertime, we have to run sprints. He's still running with the running back. He's not running with the O-line or linebackers. Right. He's bigger than all the linebackers. But he's running with the running back. This guy was, I'm talking about, he was fast, and his side to side, his athleticism, juking, he was just an incredible running back. He had it all put together. And he was big, man, and long story long, we'd be in the huddle. He had asthma. So we'd be in the huddle. We going down this one of them long drives, and I used to keep my inhaler in my sock. So he turned around and said, hey, they used to call me Pork Chop. Hey, Pork Chop, let me get a hit of that inhaler, man. So I would take it out of my sock and give it to him. All right, let's go. You know what I'm saying? That was awesome. My guy, man.
That's funny, man. That's funny. I'll throw one out there. Now, you being an offensive lineman, you want to get some tough defensive linemen. So, who's one of the toughest guys to go up against during your era?
Is there any question who the best football player? Everybody's saying is Jerry Rice. No, the best football player to ever play is Reggie White. In fact, I'm sorry. I call him Mr. White.
Right.
I mean, it's disrespectful for me to call him anything but Mr. White. We're talking about a man that anything he wanted to do, he can do it, man. I remember playing against a man, and he's the nicest guy in the world. Yeah. It was always, man, a situation where you play against Reggie White, you just didn't want to get humped and thrown across the field. Anytime you could hump Larry Allen. Larry Allen was the strongest NFL player to ever play the game. Yeah. Larry Allen benched over 700 pounds. Took Larry Allen, threw him like a rag doll, 10 feet.
Jeez.
On a Thanksgiving Day game, 10 feet humping. Well, one time he came up to hump me, I grabbed his arm. He was literally picking me up in the air, and I was holding the flags flying from everywhere. He was like this, flipping me in the air. He's the strongest player ever, man. In fact, they coined a phrase when it came to Reggie White. Whenever he played against a team, there were offensive tackles that would come out and they would get Reggie-itis.
Oh,
Reggie-itis, they would, I'm sick. I literally played a game that I wasn't even supposed to start. I wasn't even supposed to start the game. And the offensive tackle that was playing in front of me caught Reggie-itis. So I'm sitting there, I'm with Ray Rhodes, so I'm not even supposed to play. So I get a call at 6:30 in the morning. I'm like, what's going on, coach? And he starts cutting. The MF, he called Reggie-itis. I said, Coach, what are you talking about? He got Reggie-itis. I said, what is Reggie-itis? Oh, he was supposed to play against Reggie White, so he got Reggie-itis. That means you starting. I'm like, I'm starting now. From out of the blue, I'm starting the game now because somebody called Reggie-itis, man. That's how good he was, man. That's how good he was. But he was a great guy. A great guy. In fact, look, quick story. We're playing him, and we had my right guard, his name was Jerry Kraft. Now, Creamy, we used to call him Creamy. Creamy was about 6'7", 6'8", 360 pounds. So we're playing against him. We're beating him pretty bad. We're in Philadelphia. It's in September. And we're just running sweep left, sweep right, because they have the grave digger and they got Reggie. And it's hot outside. And they got tired, They gasping for air. So then my right guard, he keeps, he's cussing to Reggie. Hey, we kicking your ass. Yada, yada. Now, him and Reggie played together the year before. So he turned around and said, hey, now, Creamy, you going to stop cussing at me like that. I said, yeah, man, you going to stop cussing at him like that, man. Be quiet, Jerry. He turns around and looks at me. Oh, B. Brooks, don't worry about you kicking his ass. And I said, man, be quiet, man. Okay, Jerry. Okay, Jerry. So we go to the huddle. Oh, Rodney Peace, my quarterback. He said, all right, 2-jet go. On three. Ready, break. 2-jet all go is a 7-step drop. It takes an eternity for Rodney Peace to throw the ball because everybody's going 9 routes. Everybody's going go route.
Yeah.
So I'm about a 7 foot. It's gonna be a 7-step drop, and I'm going against Reggie White. He's already pissed off because Jerry Kraft did talk about it. So we get to the line. As soon as we get to the line, we sit down. Reggie gets up. He looks at Jerry and says, I'm coming, Jerry. So he moves down. He tells the grave digger to move out there over me. And he goes in at the tackle position so he can rush against Jerry Kraft. Yeah. So Jerry Kraft, he instantly thinking, oh, my God, he's about to come on me. He looks up like this. He looks at Jerry Kraft and says, look, Jerry, I'm coming, Jerry, and I'm bringing the Lord with me. Rodney P said, hut. As soon as he did that, he picked up Jerry Kraft like this in the air. 6'8", 365 pounds. And throws him 5 feet on top of Rodney P.
Yeah. Oh, my God.
I told you to shut up. But stood over and said, I told you to shut up, Jerry. And he's laying on top of Rodney P. Rodney P turns him like this. Yeah, he told you to shut up.
He on top of him like, yeah, shut up.
Yeah. It's on film, man. You can go back and watch this on film, man. I was like,
definitely going to have to watch that.
No question, man. It was crazy, bro.
You have to throw that in here. You have to throw that video in here.
But man, he was the most gifted athlete I've ever seen play, man. Whatever he wanted to do, he could do it. He had speed, he had quickness, he had power. He had that grown man strength. Like you ever, when your pops comes up and grabs you, like you're grabbed, nothing you can do about it. You're somebody. Yeah. Oh man. Well, that's how he used to touch you on a regular, man. I'm like, hey, Mr. White, how you doing? You know what I'm saying? Well, that's how you felt playing against Reggie White. So
like, he was too strong, bro. Why you grabbing on me like that?
He was the greatest. To me, he was the greatest football player to ever play.
Yeah, that's what's up. John, throw out a question.
You somewhat alluded to it in the beginning when you were talking about like the Eagles and how like it's like a family there. But I was gonna ask you, which was your favorite franchise to play for?
Ooh, I mean, it's kind of tough for me, because the Eagles gave me my start. But at that point, Jeffrey Lurie's first year, I was his first draft class. He had just bought the team, so things weren't set in place for it to be a real good organization. It was run poorly, the owner before. So, if I'm going to say the organization that ran it the best, I'd have to go with the Steelers. But the Eagles gave my start, so it's a tit for tat thing. You know, if you ask my favorite team, they're right here. You know, Eagles gave my start, but I won a Super Bowl with the Steelers.
Yeah,
but as far as them treating you, yeah, as far as you getting treated right, an organization that, you know, they eat, sleep, and breathe excellence, it has to be the Steelers, man. The way they carry themselves, you know, the way the owners treat their players. I mean, they're devout Catholics. Fish every Friday. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Every Friday.
Salmon?
They were just good people, man. Really good people, man. You
What
know,
kind of fish? Catfish?
whatever they
Some
Some
salmon,
fried catfish?
some whiting.
No, you know, salmon or cod. You know, they don't know nothing about no catfish. You know, catfish nuggets, man. But you know,
Right.
I mean, just little things. I had retired, and that was the last team I played for. So then I got into broadcasting like 4 years after that, for college football. So I'm doing a pit game, and I go down there a couple days before. So it's a Thursday. They play on Saturday. And when I get there, I just get through interviewing all the coaches, you know, Dave Wannstedt and all that, you know. So it's lunchtime. And instead of eating with the Panthers, I went over and ate with the Steelers. And I sat down, and I'm about to eat. And here comes the owner. The owner calls, "Hey, what's up? Come with me." I said, "What's up, man? Well, how's it going now?" "Mr. Rooney, you know." Say, hey. He said, "How's your family doing?" I said, "Doing all right." "How's your wife, yeah, Sanji?" "Yeah, Sanji's all right." I'm like, "Yeah, she's cool. Now, I haven't seen him in 4 years.
That's
And I
amazing.
wasn't a big name player, you know. He's like, "How's Sanji doing?" He said, "Oh, man, how are the 5 kids going?" I'm like, "They're doing good." I'm like, "How does he know?"
That's
I said, "How
love.
do you know I had 5 kids?" He said, "Oh, man, you used to break me during Christmas time." I said, "What do you mean?" I used to have to buy you 5 Build-A-Bears. You gave all the kids Build-A-Bears. "I used to give you 5 Build-A-Bears out to give to your kids." I'm like, I'll just be damned. He remembered my 5 kids and my wife's name. You know, that's a classic type of owner,
That's
man.
love,
Classic.
man.
And he also
Wow.
remembered that big ass bill you had every Christmas.
Right, you know, but I mean, it just goes to organization, man. You know, and their level of excellence, man. That's you know, they prepare themselves when I was there at a level up here, man. You know, I mean, just goes to show you. At the time, there was only like 2 or 3 organizations that had a good coaching like that. They only had, when I was there, they only had 3 coaches. You know, there was only 3 Steelers coaches the time I was there. I think, you know, and Tom was the 4th coach. You know, they don't just recycle players. You know, they keep their guys there. They keep the same type of culture there. In fact, it was so intense there, and they want to win was so high that there were times where Bill Cowher would say, "Hey, look, you guys stop practicing so hard. If you still stop hitting each other and running so hard, I'm gonna end practice."
Wow.
We're like, "Oh, no, coach, we cool." So we go through 907, right back at it. Bam, we hitting hard. You know, he's like, "No, stop it. Practice over with. Take it inside." Now, when do you have to tell a team to stop practicing so hard, stop going so hard? It's just the level of excellence that they had, you know, or they would go, you know, like 6 weeks without dropping a ball in practice. That's how they prepared themselves. That's how we prepared ourselves during each game. So when we played against a team, we already knew we had them beat because we practiced against the best team in practice. I knew I was going against the best defensive end or the best tackle. Our quarterback knew that he was going against the best safety, you know, Troy Polamalu. Troy Polamalu knew he was going against the best quarterback, Ben Roethlisberger. You know, so that kind of excellence gets bred, and that whole culture is bred there in Pittsburgh. You know, so I mean that's why they've been great so long.
DQ, AD, throw a question out there.
So my question is, with the issues on head injuries, like players and stuff, do you feel for kids coming up playing sports, do you feel they're protected enough to be able to get to that next level?
You know what? The nature of the NFL and it's a gladiator sport, you know, there's always going to be injuries in that capacity. And I don't think it's necessarily all these lawsuits and everything for concussions and things of that nature. I don't think it's necessarily for the hitting there, because at the end of the day, they had the information they could have gave the players and let them know, hey, this is what can happen to you. And I tell you what, 9 out of the 10 players would have still continued to play, but they kept the information from us. And that's why they're getting all these lawsuits. They weren't trying to protect us. I got diagnosed with 7 concussions. No, 6. I'm sorry, 6 concussions. But I know I had way more than that because I'd be on the field and I get my bell rung And I'll be walking around, I don't know what's going on. Yeah, I mean, I was out for like 2 seconds before I just got up and came back. And I go back in the huddle, and and they be asking, "Hey, you okay? You okay?" Yeah, I'm okay, but I don't know what the hell is going on. I don't know the play or anything. And I would, when I get to the line, everything will kick back in, and I know what I'm doing again. But I know for a fact I have more than that. But it's just the nature of the game, and they're not going to be all the way safe with it. But they need to prepare these young kids and let them understand, you're playing a sport that this is going to happen. And, from that point on, once you educate them and they understand it, then the parents and the kid can make an educated decision on whether it's for them to play or it's not for them to play. And that's the biggest thing, inform these guys what could happen instead of just letting them go out there and give you ice and ibuprofen. Everything for them back in the day when I was playing, oh, just take this ice and ibuprofen. My arm about to fall off. Oh, take this ice and ibuprofen. You'll be okay. I broke my ankle. I literally broke my ankle and played the next game with a broken ankle. And they gave me some ibuprofen, gave me a Toradol shot, and I went out there and played. You can't do that to players. You got to at least let them know what's going on with their bodies and don't hide anything from them.
Yeah. Drew, go ahead.
Well, what do you think? Well, what you thinking about like all the medication that is going on within the league right now? Like, you think it's actually safe? You think it's actually safer of the medication like Toradol shots for like pain management? You think that's the right way to go to giving NFL players like these type of medications, or you think something should be done in place of that?
Well, I mean, that's serious too. That's why a lot of these players, our bodies are already messed up, bro. And all the medicines and things of that nature we've taken has put us in a position where our bodies, are pretty messed up because Toradol hides the symptoms that you have out there. There's a reason why you're taking the Toradol, because your body is broken. And when you take that shot, you don't know the serious extent of what you're doing to that injury, because it's hiding the pain from you. So you can really mess your body up from that. Both of my shoulders, I probably need to get 2 shoulder surgeries. My knee, I mean, everything is messed up in us. But it's not just that, it's just the long-term effects of all these medicines that, you've taken out there. I mean, I can tell you my rookie year, we had this guy named Bill Romanowski. Now, Bill Romanowski, I never saw him eat a meal.
Yeah.
This guy had a suitcase, a big-ass suitcase full of drugs in it. So, long story long, during camp, we going through camp, and he was just an asshole, man. He was just a bad dude, man. He was, man. Like, he would tape his pads in practice, and he'd be going full speed, even though everybody else is trying to, save him because he's a starter. Well, he used to try to pick on the rookies. So we used to light him up, bro. I mean, light him up. You know what I'm saying? We take turns busting his tail, bro. I mean, killing him. So, long story long, me and him didn't get along. He didn't get along with none of the rookies. So we're going into our first game. Oh, it's our first preseason game. It's the first time we play against an NFL player that's not an Eagle that I practice against. I'm going against, Minnesota. This is Chris Dolman I'm lining up against.
Yeah.
So I know I'm excited. I'm ready to play. I'm starting at left tackle. And I'm walking by his locker just before the game. And he said, "Hey, rookie, come here." And I turned around and said, "Look, Bill, I ain't trying to hear all this right now, man. I'm trying to focus for this game, man. Leave me alone." He's, No, rookie, I'm messing with you. Just like, "What do you want, man?" So I go over to his locker. I said, "Hey, man, how do you want to play?" I said, "What you mean I want to play? How do you want to play?" He said, I want to play fast, I want to play strong, I want to play explosive. He said, "All right, then, let me get these things." So look, I don't even ask him what they are. He gives me 3 pills. He gives me a black pill, a white pill, and an orange pill. So I take the pills. I turn around, I've taken the pills back to my locker and said, whoa, Brooksy, come back here. You're not ready for that black pill. He takes the black pill from me and gives me the blue pill. So like a dumbass, I take it. I go out there, bro. I'm on edge, So we get in the huddle, and Randall Cunningham says, "All right, we got 32 tap on three, ready, break." We get to the line. I'm so amped up on what this guy gave me that Randall Cunningham said, he said, "Down." I came off the ball. Bow. I hit Chris Dolman. He jumps up. I mean, it was on 3, and I'm going off as soon as he says, I'm like, oh, man. So after I hit Chris Dolman looks at me, So, I ain't going for this. This is not my game. He walks off the field, takes his helmet off, is unbuckling his shoulder pads. He's like, what you doing? Hey, man, this rookie's going to do this. I'm not playing with him. So he didn't play the game. So long story long, after the game, you know what I'm saying, I'm still amped up. Whatever he gave me kept me up until Thursday of the next week, man. I didn't go to sleep for 4 days.
Jesus.
Dang.
4
Maybe
days.
some
That's how
dose of
amped up
speed.
I was.
Right.
Yeah, 4
Yeah.
days, man.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So I
we
mean,
put that in
Barrett,
our bodies, man.
yeah, Barrett, you got a lot of really funny stories. I mean, obviously, thank you again for coming on. We're gonna, after we move on with this question, I think we're gonna go on to some of the segments we do on the show. But I
before
need
before
Yeah.
we move on, I'm gonna let all the fellas get one more question in.
Okay,
And
yeah.
Then we'll move on to the games we got for you, Barrett.
I need to hear how you were a part of a score in the Super Bowl. I need to hear that story from your mouth. I heard some rumors. The guys don't know the story. I kind of know a little bit of the story, but I need to hear it.
You talking at the end of the game? What do you mean?
How you maybe had done something to another teammate of yours to make sure you were in on that play?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So what happened was it was, at the time, you got performance paid checks. So each play that you did, you got paid for that play. And at the time, my paid level was, I would get $500 for each play. So long story long, we're going in the score, and Max Starks is the starting tackle. Well, we're on the sideline, the officer's on the sideline, and lo and behold, a big play happens. Defense gets the ball, and Max Starks' helmet is sitting next to me. So he's sitting there, and it's offense up. And I look down at his helmet, and I kick it. And when I kicked it underneath the bench and rolled out by the stands. And they're like, wait, hey, get in there, Max. I said, where's my helmet? He said, B, give me a helmet. I'm like, no, dog. I run on the field. I kicked the next 5 plays. He was hot. Oh, he was mad, man, because I kicked his helmet and I went in to finish it, man. To this day, he's still mad at me about that, man.
He's still holding on to that.
Oh, yeah. He's still mad, crazy, man. But, hey, you snooze, you lose, man. I kicked it smooth, too. Where it was, man.
Nobody tried to give him his helmet tonight?
No, man. They went out there and made about $5,000 real fast, about $2,000 real fast, and called it a day, man.
That ring. Okay, throw a question out.
So my last question is, how did you know it was time? Like, it was time to hang it up. Like, how did you know? Was there a specific play? Was there a specific injury?
Yeah, it was
one day that you was just like, the tank is about, I'm running on fumes, like something. You know what I mean?
I got injured, man. But I mean, I'm gonna tell you the truth, man. I probably should have retired 2 years earlier, because I'm telling you, man, I could see blitzes coming, and I'm like, oh, here comes the blitz, here comes the blitz. I know exactly what to do. And my body just wasn't getting there fast enough,
Right.
But my career, I played like 2 more years because of my daughters, man. My daughters were getting old enough, that they understood what football was, and started going to the games and enjoying themselves, And they were thinking, the place called Barrett is cute, or Troy Palomino, he got long hair. So they loved going to the games then, So I played 2 extra years because of them. But I knew it was time for me to stop when I was on the field, and it was the first game of the season, and I was out there playing, and I was playing guard, and I had a double team block. I get up on the linebacker, and I got him, man. I could feel his body folded. So I'm about to put him on his back, and I started laughing at him. Yeah. And as I put him on the back, Deuce Staley comes from behind me. He was playing with the Steelers then, and hits me from behind. And my knee hits the ground, and I rip my quad muscles all the way apart from my patella tendon. You ever seen somebody rip their bicep and it goes up into their arm?
Yeah,
that's actually what my quad muscle did.
It's like a band.
On the ground. Yeah.
It's like a band.
Like, oh, God. So the doctor comes out, and he looks at my leg, he rolls my leg up. He said, wow. I said, man. And he looks at me, he said, oh, it's you, poor chap. Oh, you'll be fine. I said, what are you talking about? Oh, don't you have that healthcare thing, you and your wife have? I'm like, yeah, I got my nursing school. Yeah. I said, why are you talking about healthcare in school and everything? I'm sitting on the field. What are you talking about? He said, Brooksy, somebody half your size, half your age, couldn't come back from this. I'm like, boom. I knew it was over then, man. You know, so
Yikes.
from that point on, man, I knew I was done. But, man, it was year 12, so, I had played long enough, it's a young man's game. I got it in for as long as I could. I mean, if I didn't do that, I'd probably still be playing now, though. I'm going to tell you the truth. They had to kick me out, man, but just an injury stopped me from playing, man.
Right.
I got you.
That's crazy, man. John, Drew, DQ.
I was gonna say,
no one out there.
How does it feel to be a Super Bowl champion? Just winning the Super Bowl. Like, you made the league, you got drafted, and you was fortunate enough to play on the team and win the Super Bowl. And
it was crazy.
You got your ring.
Yeah.
Did you cry? Did you cry?
It really sunk in. No, I didn't cry, man, but it really sunk in when I was walking down the tunnel, about to go on the field, for the Super Bowl. And this is when it really sunk in, like, man, I'm in the Super Bowl, man. I'm about to play in the Super Bowl because I was walking next to Jeff Reed, my quarterback. And Jeffrey turns to me and said, hey, man, watch this pause. I was like, what? When I kick this ball, watch all these flashing lights going to come out and everything. And that's when it hit me like, bam. And I looked over the corner. I saw Kid Rock and I see Sean Puffy Combs. I look over there. Aretha Franklin's over there. That's when it really set in like, man, I'm at the highest stage. This is the #1 rated program in the world. Everybody's watching this, and I'm about to play in this game, man. Yeah. That's when it really took effect, man. And it's about to go down.
Right. That's dope, man. That's dope.
So my next question is, do you have like any superstitions or pregame routines?
That's a good one.
Yeah, that was good.
It's kind of crazy, man, because my wife gets on me all the time, man. But I used to listen to Enigma, Firestarter, man. I know, man, it's the whitest song you can get, but I'm not.
Yeah.
Fired up. You know what I'm saying? That used to get me fired up, man. She's like, I'm like, everybody else, you find me in the club. I'm
right.
Like, no.
Right.
I'm just hyped, you know what I'm saying? I'm ready to go choke old ladies, man, with that. You know what I'm saying? I'm ready to go, man. That used to get me hyped, man. But if I didn't listen to that, and then the night before, I always had to have ranch on whatever meat I was eating before the night before the game.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
That's very interesting.
You put ranch on anything. Ranch on steak, ranch on chicken, ranch on anything. You put ranch on pizza, you name it, man. Ranch is just that all-encompassing food.
Yeah.
All right, Drew. Last question, Drew.
All right. When I want to know, like, it's like that when you looked at like the end of your career and stuff like that. What is the main thing you like want to like miss about the game and stuff, like miss about the game, like when you retired, like
right,
you not be able to do this ever again? Like,
I think the biggest thing that I miss, man, I tell people all the time, man, football is hard, man. It's really hard, man. And the three things that I miss, man, is probably the 3 days that I miss. Number one, I miss playing on Sunday. Number two, I miss Monday because that's when I used to pick my check up. And I miss Tuesday because it was my day off, man. If I could just have those 3 days, I'd be cool. But the rest of it sucked, man, because football is hard, bro. Beating your body up, man. Yeah, I didn't want to do all that. But if I could just have those 3 days, man, I'd be cool, bro.
Right. That's dope. Well, good. A lot of dope questions, fellas. But, Barrett, we're going to get into some of the games that we play on our pod. Now, we got a game called Bag It or Trash It. Basically, yay or nay, yes or no. So I'm going to pose a question. Either you bag it, saying that, yes, I agree, or trash it, nah, it's quiet, that's for the birds. Wherever you take it, that's how you trash it. All right, so bag it and trash it question specifically for you. Bag it or trash it. Will the Eagles make the playoffs? Bag it saying yes, trash it saying no.
At the end of the day, we got to bag that, man. They got younger, man.
Yeah.
They got speed at the wide receiver position, man. That's what they needed. Defensively, they now got to shut down corner. So I got to bag it now, man. These guys are going to be pretty good. So, I mean, that's they got good where they needed to get.
Right.
You mean if Carson stays healthy?
Right.
Yes. Well, it's definitely about that because we don't have that backup like we used to, man. We used to have a bomb backup. At this point, we got two guys trying to vie for Jalen Hurts, and Nate Sudfeld. At this point, neither one of them are ready to take us to the Super Bowl like Nick Foles did. So either he stays healthy, or it's gonna be a whole lot of trash.
How's Jalen looking out there?
He's looking really good, man. In fact, I didn't think he had an opportunity to really get on the field, but this kid is a phenomenal player, man. I mean, he's got a strong arm. He's picking up the offense. He's a little more advanced as far as, you know, what he brings to the table than I thought. I mean, you have to respect him as a player, man. And, you know, if you try not to respect his arm, he'll turn around and he'll thread a needle and get it to the DB. But then if you try to stop the pass play, he can run the read option and, you know, outrun any of the guys you got out there. So he's one of those phenomenal players that he can sit back and he can evaluate, and you have to respect him as a defense. You have to play assignment correct when you're playing on defense, when you're playing a guy like Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
That's dope. And hopefully we see the Eagles in the playoffs this year. So
I want to see them in the playoffs.
He bagged it. We're going to bag it, too, because –
well, two guys might not bag it.
Right, so we got two Giants fans here. So
they're going to have a squad, man. Your coach is up there, Debo and stuff, man. I mean, he got grown men running around. You know,
yeah, I love these guys that leave Bill Belichick's system and then go into another team thinking that they're Bill Belichick and then do all these crazy antics, and then they turn out to not be good. So good luck, guys.
Right.
Go Judge. Let's go. Go Judge.
Oh, good.
So thank you for playing Bag of the Trash. We got one more game for you, and we're going to let you get out of here. So we got a game called Start, Bench, Cut. So we give you three players, who you starting, who you benching, who you cutting. And this is a hard one. This is a good one. So we got three former and elite historical running backs that come from the Eagles. We got Deuce Staley, we got Brian Westbrook, and we got Shady McCoy. Who you starting?
Oh, yeah.
Benching,
yeah.
Who you cut. Now,
I knew we were going to get him with Shady. I knew it.
Now, this is all in their prime. All in their prime. Who you starting, who you benching, who you cutting.
Wow.
Deuce, Shady, and Westbrook.
Wow, man, this is really, damn, man. I mean, this.
Take your time. Take your time.
I mean, literally, man. You look at it. You know, you got Shady, man. Shady leads the Eagles as far as the most, you know, rushing yards. You know what I'm saying? So he's the leading rusher out of all running backs for the Eagles. Then, you know, you got Deuce, who's been, you know, guy I played with, you know, and he's one of the best coaches they've ever had in that organization. And then you got Westbrook. You got my boy, man, who is just an all-purpose back that can eat you alive from run, pass, and on special teams, man. I mean, you know, he has.
That's why we making you pick. That's what we're doing, because
Right.
we know it's gonna be hard.
All right. I mean, I'm you know, at this point, I had to start Shady, because I mean, Shady, you know, he's a leading rusher, you know, in franchise history, you know, so I have to start Shady. And then I'd have to, you know, I hate to say this, man, but I to bench Westbrook, man, because he's an all-purpose guy. I mean, this guy you got to have on the squad just in case you bench him for running back, but then he can go and play special teams, you know, and then he got a miracle in the Meadowlands by himself. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you guys remember that? Giants
you know,
fans?
And then
Cut Deuce.
I mean, I have to cut Deuce, my boy. I played with Deuce. I played with Deuce with the Eagles, and I played with him with the Steelers, man. I gotta cut Deuce. Oh my goodness, he probably gonna see this too, man. Hey, my fault, dog.
We'll cut it. We can cut it if you want.
No, we good. That's my guy. We good.
Send it to him. No, because it was, when I was thinking about this, I tried to make it hard. Like Deuce Staley, Jerome Bettis is like, when I was playing in high school, those guys I idolized because they would run through you, and that was my my type of style. But I knew we're having Shady there, who's that guy, and then having Westbrook, who's, again, all-purpose when it comes to running and passing. Knew this was going to be a little hard for you. So
you know, and especially when I played with dudes like Deuce. I was with the Eagles, man, and he hurt his ankle, and his ankle was hurt so bad that he couldn't stop him. It was going like this. He couldn't stop him from doing this, and he kept playing in the game. Every time he stopped, it'd be doing just like this. He couldn't stop it. It just kept going like this. I said, for that guy to suck it up, man, and go back in and play, and he's messed up like that, man, he's a special player, man. So My fault, Deucey, but hey, man, I gotta go with that.
Well,
Appreciate
Barrett,
it.
man, we just want to thank you for coming through the pod. Man, you're a real OG for us. We
Appreciate it, man.
Before I leave though, any advice for us? You know, we still new in the space. Any advice for us? You know, getting into this.
Y'all got the hottest name ever, man. That's the
Thank
hottest
you.
name.
I love the name.
Pump that name up as much as you can, man. Get it out there, man. But hey, you guys got the perfect concept because everybody wants to be on a podcast, but they want to go in and be more than what they are. You guys are just guys in a barbershop chopping it up like you chop it anywhere else, man. You know what I'm saying? Like y'all on the stoop, you know what I'm saying, talking about sports. That's all you need right there, man. Guys that have a passion to want to talk sports. Like you're on the stoop or you're in the barbershop, you know, talking trash to your boys, man. I appreciate the opportunity, man. And hey, I gotta come on again, bro. So let me know.
Barrett, we definitely want you on. But you want to plug all your shows, everything you're doing at
what you got going on?
Where people can find you?
Like I said, I'm at NBC Sports Philadelphia. I'm on podcast for NBC. I'm on their #1 as far as RSN pre and post game show for the Eagles. You know, we're doing it, man. Eagles pregame live, Eagles post game live. We break it down. We tell you exactly what it is. It's me and my man Seth Joyner, Ray Didinger. He's a Hall of Fame rider, and Mike is our Michael Barkan. He's our point guard. He just, you know, pass it to us, get it there, and we slam dunk it, man. You know, that's the most part. I also do college football on the weekends also, you know, if they have a college season. So, man, I do it all, man. But I appreciate it, man. Let me use the platform, man. Hey, tell everybody, man, they got to go out there and vote, man. Don't play around with this guy. Let him come back, man. Because he'll hear this podcast, believe that, and be talking about we're fake news. But we know
we know what's the real. But, man, again, thank you for joining us, man. OSA episode 20. You're more than welcome to come back whenever you feel it.
I bet.
You got a lot of information that we still want to soak up, so we definitely going to have Ed reach out to you and say, yo, get him back if you want to. We going to let you know what we're doing. And
did Ed tell you how we met?
No, he ain't tell us how y'all met.
We met on a resort. Me and my wife are on a resort, and we're waiting on our room. And who shows up? Ed and his wife. So we just start chopping it up, man. And we would just meet at different times at the resort, and we just got cool, man. And from that point on, man, we just got cool, and we've been chopping up ever since then. This is about 3 or 4 years ago, man.
Oh, wow.
That's dope, man. But again, thank you for coming. Really appreciate it. And yeah, man, just thank you for being here, bro.
Appreciate it, man. Y'all have a good one now, all right?
All right, stay blessed, man. Stay
you too now.
Yep. All right, guys, we're back.
We black.
We hope you enjoyed that interview. I'm really, really upset that I got freaking cut like halfway through. My internet went down.
Shout out to
you guys weren't talking shit about me, were you?
He was telling us again, like how he met you and how he fucks with you and shit. So it was dope, man. It was real dope. Shout out to Barrett for coming through and shit. He said he'll stop by, so we gonna hold you to that.
Yeah. Reoccurring guests. You're gonna be our first and only reoccurring guest.
Dope, like yo, just
for now.
Around. Yeah, for now. Dope person. A lot of gems would drop, man. Thank you, bro. We really appreciate it. We
kick some serious knowledge.
Yeah, make sure y'all check him out on his platform. We'll have all that information here as well. But yeah, next up,